who when he comes will rule the world from the Holy Land, from Jerusalem, with a rule which will be eternal, meaning the end of history. I lived in New York for 10 years. And during that time I interacted with the rabbis and with the Jews. And I can confirm to you, oh yes, they are waiting on the Messiah. And they believe the Messiah is around the corner. We also believe that the Messiah is going to return. The voice of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is the most powerful voice in history to have prophesied the return of Jesus alayhi salam. And this is the cornerstone of Islamic eschatology. Welcome to the subject of Islam and the end time. Events which are still to occur in the historical process. The most important of them all, by far, is the return of the true Messiah, the son of Mary, Nabi Isa alayhi salam, the Prophet Jesus. That return will occur in the end time, or as we know it in Malaysia, الزمان. And we can recognize when we are living in الزمان. Oh yes, and people in Kuala Lumpur most of all. Because just before Prophet Muhammad ﷺ died, a very extraordinary event took place. He was sitting in the masjid with his companions when a stranger entered. No one knew who was this man. He was dressed all in white, his hair was black. And no one knew him. And he walked through the gathering and came directly in front of the Prophet ﷺ and asked 5 questions. And the Prophet ﷺ answered him, and the man would confirm, yeah, you're correct in your answer. Who is he? And then he left, as strangely and as mysteriously as he had arrived. And after he left, the Prophet asked, do you know who was he? Who was he? So we said, Allah and His Messenger know, but we don't. Yeah, that was Gabriel, Jibreel alayhi salam, who came to instruct you in your deen. One of the questions, the last question, what are the signs of Akhiru Zaman? And one of the signs that he answered and gave with, you'd find naked, barefooted shepherds competing with each other in the construction of tall buildings. That's why I said you people of Kuala Lumpur are familiar with this subject. And when you build your twin towers, then Korea will get jealous and put up something taller in Seoul. And then Dubai will say, nope, we're going to do better. And they put up the Burj in Dubai. And then Jeddah will say, we'll teach you a lesson. And Jeddah will put up towers that go up into the clouds. And those who see with only one eye would look at these tall buildings and say they represent progress. These are the naked, barefooted shepherds. But those who see with 2 eyes will say, no, what resides in the heart is far more important than the tallest of buildings that you can build. So we are living in Akhiru Zaman. If you can't see the tall buildings, please make an appointment with an eye specialist. The Akhiru Zaman, or the last age, is going to culminate with the return of the true Messiah, Nabi Isa alayhi salam. But Islamic eschatology has something very important to introduce now. Something which affects the political process, something which affects the world economy, something which affects the monetary system, something which explains today's strange and mysterious reality in the world today. There are those who are content to simply go to work in the morning, face the morning traffic, and go back home in the evening with your air conditioner turned on in your SUV, and then go home and cook a nice dinner, and sit down and watch television until it's time to sleep. And you do it over and over until the weekend comes. And then the weekend is the time for fun and games and so on, and for Saturday night's fever and so on. And this is life. This is life. You worship the dunya, you live for the dunya, you die for the dunya. But there are others. There are others who are made of sterner stuff, and their hearts beat with a different tune. These are people who yearn for something higher, something which explains the strange world. I'm not prepared to be just another piece of balsa wood floating on the ocean, and the waves will take me wherever they want to. No. I want a boat which will take me to the port, the destination that my heart longs for. I must understand the world in which we are living today, and I must respond to it appropriately. I want peace and contentment and tranquility in my heart. And I can only get that peace and contentment and tranquility in my heart when I understand the reality of the world in which we live, and I respond to it appropriately.